Brief introduction, this video is about the local scale, taking a very narrow pegmatite apart piece by piece to understand the relationship between the pockets producing fluorite, quartz, and feldspar crystals in the context of the aplite, the quartz, wall zone, graphic zone, and the host granite. We're going to jump in right on site, but in part 2, we actually take a step back and then try to get an understanding regionally what's going on in this area and how I came to discover this spot, which turned out to be more abundant than I originally anticipated.
I found a boulder outcrop to get some perspective on the entirety of the landscape. I noticed this pegmatite running through it, continues and widens. I always check these little cavities. Keep going, aplite, that's all aplite, then back to quartz, differentiates, and then I found that. So, and then there's more. So apparently it either widens here and continuing up. Oh, right. I just pulled it out. This is the first time anyone's seen it. I haven't even played around in here. That's a crystal. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I guess they came from right there, but just, you know, we want to be thorough, so let's go up a bit. I think a lot of this is worth lots of investigation because look, we have this decomposing granite, and then a more solid. Then you can see this is the aplite. The aplite, the crystals contact the aplite or grow in between it or on one side. And then now this, let's see, no, this is granite. Our vein is still only this narrow. But I'm gonna continue upwards and see if it shows any other sign of crystals. See, pegmatite. Oh, that's loose. Keep all the evidence in line, make sure we're following this exactly straight, or like it was, which is curving just so ever so subtly to the side. And you notice that this is forming the ridge line. Down, down. That's weird because I would think it would need to be a bigger vein in order for it to be a ridge formation. Is that a face? Can't be too sure. I'm just gonna zigzag back and forth until we see some more quartz float. We're at the crest of the hill, so there's no more going up from here. And ridge lines tend to be pretty heavily trafficked areas. So I'm gonna go back down and work around where that one crystal came from, move some of the decomposed stuff and the surface alluvium, and see if there are more crystals beneath it. I'm shocked such a narrow vein produced that big crystal that we found and was just seen for the first time. So I will report back if I find something significant. It thickens in a literal sense. This I found next. All this was just surface, but you can see there's like a little crystal growing out of here. This, some unruly quartz with nifty geometry. And then look. I'm just digging around in this, and this whole thing came out. Can you really believe it? Something of that big size come from this tiny stringer. let's keep going. So yeah, apatite, the crystal pocket right in there, and then that thing just came from right here. Evidently, the vein pinches and swells dramatically in a very short distance unless those crystals are all coming from right up in here. Good news is it's loose enough to get a little bit of rock out of the way. Okay, we got a feldspar forming a little swell here and on the backside. So let's see what's beneath it. Because that quartz crystal came from right in here. None of these look like crystals. There is space though. Oi, I see something. Look, interlocking crystal texture. Boom. Wow, look at that, natural bridge. Shut up. I'm pretty sure that's a fluorite. Look at that, 90 degrees. 90 degrees. If that's fluorite, that's the first fluorite cube I've ever found. We can tell because it'll have cleavage. It's weird. Let's keep going. Where did it come from? Up here. If that is quartz, then it's still special because that's the most cubic quartz I've ever seen in my life. Oh, right. It was laying on the surface. Meaning there's probably good stuff up there. We got Zeus is about to throw bolts. But we will continue. We will find crystals and lay them out to appease him. I mean, this is definitely crystalline. I'm sure we're about to pop off of a couple crystal forms. What is going on in the crystal world? I think they're quartzes. I think they're the quartzes. Yeah, they're quartz. That was just a super cubic quartz crystal.
Like I said in part 1 of prospecting the Terrials, when I found that beautiful tabby quartz crystal, everyone gets a dumb card, especially if they leave behind crystals for me. However, I have been issued at least 3 dumb cards by this point in the video, so I think we need to go back and replay what I just threw down the crack.
Yeah, that was just a super cubic quartz crystal. I'm gonna keep working this back and turn the camera on if it gets interesting. Look at the change. Look at that quartz, and then look at what is just coming out of here now. How much this changes over no you can see into that. What is going on? I'll show you exactly where I found it. I gotta make it look like a crystal so I don't leave it. Right here, right here. There's another. A little bit of back end. I see something. I see something. Look at that. Do you see it? It's greenish. Oh, I think it's just quartz. I thought it was green, like some Amazonite or...
Yeah, it's dirty, yeah, it's dusty, but the geometry doesn't lie. That's a perfect cube right there. You have no idea how difficult it was for me to not edit this clip out of the video. Just so many dumb cards. But it's to illustrate a specific point. This is why I left it. I believe the world to be, so it is. I was looking for quartz and feldspar, and I was finding it. But in the process, everything else was trash, including these fluorites, which were just tumbling down the crack. However, this is the last cringe moment, and from this point forward, all I notice is fluorite.
They're all just lined up in this. Okay, get... It's 100! It's fluorite! So that other stuff before is likely fluorite as well. Look how beautiful. I don't know how it will look when it's clean. Okay, no more hard tools. That one confirmed that actually that is a fluorite cube. This one is a fluorite cube for sure. And it's got a little blue-green, kind of the same, like a transparent, little bit of blue-greenish. Let's go find some more. And I left that little small quartz crystal. What do you know? I gotta go get that. A fluorine-rich pegmatite. This vein is so tiny. You know, back down to this. Oh man, I feel something in there. I'm going to get this out of the way so we can get back into here. Using my chisel, getting under it, carving layer by layer so I can free this applite up. Left side wall. We see that there are crystals. I think we'll be able to get that out right now. Vein. Hold up. Okay. Just in like little sections it's opening up. And I think I see more greeny blue fluorite. I think that it's quartz with some type of algae. Yeah, that's quartz for sure. Good. We're in where we want to be. Right. Let's move this one out. Let's make sure there's no loose crystals because, yeah, up against that, yeah. We have another clue. These crystals on the bottom. So yeah, the big crystal came from likely right in here, and which is where we're going right now. Yeah, I think that there will be some quartz crystals. Little microcline, micro geometric world. That's the first plate that I've ever found in my life of microcline. Time to be gentle. And you always want to check this stuff for topaz because topaz has fluorine in its chemical formula.
So where you find fluorine, you could find topaz as well. And topaz are so overlooked. I just can't stress that enough. They're so overlooked that there are topaz collectors that don't even do any hard rock prospecting. They go inspect pockets that other people are already done with. And based on the rock and what they're seeing, like also fluorite, they will look through the dirt and they will find topaz crystals because they're loose and floating. They detach from the tops of pockets. Wooden tools. Oh, bone. I would love to get this out of the way, but I'm afraid to crush anything that might be in there. Tons of like really sheared blades of quartz. There's pocket space. To be expected, we're on the left side. We'd just like to get some. Oh, it's plated. Okay. Sometimes you gotta work all the way from the top. Oh, hello. Muscle man, the same. Wow, some healthy quartz. All the action is right in here. I'm going to work out. Yeah, I'm gonna go lift some weights. Check this one out. Right up against this graphic granite, where the aplite continues up here, it discontinues. There's void space, and there's a little tiny plate. So basically, we stay in line with the aplite because the aplite is pocketing. It's fluorite. Maybe there's more. Let's go find some more. We stay in line with the aplite. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get into here. Tumbled out of there. I know, it's awful, because how am I gonna get back there? This came from below, where I'm about to show you something magical. Look. That guy. That guy came from that exact position, although it was just perfectly sandwiched. So we got fluorite cubes. We got the fluorite zone relocated. I think that can be removed. I think I can wash that off. That's where I scraped it. I think it's superficial, surface level.
Yeah, there's more. That's fluorite. Oh. Fluorite on the floor. That's the zone that's producing the fluorite. I'm busting that out. We are in. Yep. Oh, what? I don't know. That one makes my head hurt. Because we're in the fluorite place. Yeah, the goodie bag is this way. Sometimes you don't know. If you have fluorite with your feldspar until you clean them, it just goes so deep. It's such a blessing and a curse. Here comes another. I just push it back further. I think that I should stop and go get like a mechanical tarantula. Man, what is up with y'all? Okay, maybe I can come down from below. I mean above. All these are like very well formed pieces of feldspar, like not host granite, like that and there. That's about to pop out. Oh my God. If we just get in here a little bit past the primary weathering exposure, we're gonna see better crystals. It's amazing, you know, how tiny a vein can be and still be producing terminated crystals. It's like dental work. Checking for decay. All of the green. Your guess is as good as mine. I removed the top 6 inches off of all of that, and there was nothing. There was like small pore space, little tiny bugs in the rock. But yeah, there's just these mud pockets, which I guess once were clay pockets, and those are where all the crystals are dispersed throughout it. Well, that's as far as I can get into it. So I'm going to see if it gets better up here. I think the seam is just gonna keep producing, you know, narrow, widen, and continue up. So I don't have a shovel. I left it in the back of like a mile-long mine. But I mean, some of that stuff is loose. Go with a chisel and try to break that free, that little plate here. How did I do? I did okay. It's not Amazonite, it's just some fungus or lichen, moss, algae, something. I'm just up above and there's a little gap. I need better tools. Better tools. It is rather small assortment, but I arrived at 3:30 in the afternoon and went until sunset. So I'm very thrilled, especially that this was new ground. I have never been to this area. I only saw it on geologic maps, and it called to me for very specific reasons, being on contact, and we're on the inside towards the granite section. Let's get them cleaned up. Post cleanup, but first a shout out to my sponsor, Umbreon. Thanks, Umbreon. Okay, some highlights. I just made this video. It was 10 minutes long, and I'm gonna save everyone some time by not going into the cleanup process. As you can see, I did no exceptional job on cleaning up. I just wanted to get a rough idea
of what I'm working with, but I will tell you what I used real quick. Hydrochloric acid, iron out, and hydrofluoric acid. Only 3%. 3% hydrofluoric acid. You really don't need a high concentration. I'm not giving advice. Treat any chemical as if it were toxic, and that's just what I'm using. Everything is open with my channel. I want to say everything except the exact locations of where these are coming from to help others reveal the beauty of the earth as well as discover the beauty of the earth. Okay, keynote features is, this is huge. It looks like it's spray painted. This is actually some subsurface hematite inclusions, and there is a pocket that produced that, meaning there are other crystals of this size in the area, in the neighborhood. So I'm going back to sweep out the area and be a bedroom intruder. Not so much, but I'm gonna look down the hill because it's possible that this whole thing has eroded and fallen down the aspects that produce this. A second note is that there's actually fluorite growing in the quartz. There's a big disparity between the hardnesses of these two minerals, so to be careful when working in the quartz. Also, I mean, building on that is the highlight that the fluorite is dispersed throughout all of the feldspar, all except for at the very top. This is the piece that I pulled off the top. That actually pried off very well because the back had little space, and these are actually some minor terminated quartz crystals, so it's silica reinforced. The fluorite being dispersed. Let me just show you, not talk so much. The fluorites. I can't believe I was thinking this was quartz in the beginning. Like, all the evidence is there, the cleavage is there, but there is fracture because of frost action, creep, and mass wasting processes that naturally degrade rock sand minerals at surface level, and they were surface finds, as well as that one. It was broken on the surface. But as I got deeper, I noticed the frequency of cracks decreased. Like, this one was like the second to deepest find. And then this one being the deepest with the highest transparency. And also there are inclusions even in the fluorite. Check this one out. Do you see the planes? That black plane in there? I'm not sure what it is yet, but I will find out. Looking forward to tomorrow morning. Just finished all my geology homework, went and bought a shovel, and am going out to see what beautiful things lurk beneath the surface here. Here we go into part 2. I got the shovel. Let's get into it.